वालेकुम, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
नाउ इलेक्शंस के बाद जो मार्केट में हमने रिएक्शन देखा है, ऑफ कोर्स पीसफुल इलेक्शंस कहना चाहिए के बाद, जिसमें पीसफुल एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट, लेट मी ऐड दैट एज वेल बिकॉज उसमें भी काफ़ी कंसर्न्स थे, यही एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी मार्केट से। बट गोइंग फॉरवर्ड गवर्नमेंट जो नई फॉर्म होती है वे देख रहे हैं आप, उसका आप क्या इम्पैक्ट देख रहे हैं कि वहाँ से जब गवर्नमेंट नई बन जाएगी और जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं लोगों की इन नई गवर्नमेंट से वो सामने आना शुरू हो जाएंगी, तो मार्केट में मजीद हम अपसाइड देख सकते हैं?
I think so. I think to start off with, I'd just like to congratulate you and all the other brave investors who stayed in the market for the all-time high that we've hit today again.
Yeah.
And I think moving forward, I mean, we continue to be positive on the market. I think the listed sectors हैं, अगर आप earning results देखें, most of them have come out, either as expected or in number of cases ahead of expectations. So I think the earnings growth expectation, which in the end will drive the market, जो हमारी estimation है between 12 to 13% for this year for 2008, we feel more confident and quite confident that that will be met. So yes, I mean that in the end will drive the market forward. I think नई government की formation is the next critical step. The elections का होना, I think, was a huge sort of catharsis effect for the country as a whole, and having gotten them out of the way peacefully. I think it's very important. The mandate is very clear. I think the electorate wants the two major parties to work together, and I think if that result comes through, that they do collaborate and work together, that will be another huge positive for the market.
ओके, नाउ मार्केट में हमने देखा है कि कुछ स्टॉक्स जो लैग कर रहे थे, एंड लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द बैंकिंग सेक्टर, जिसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि नेशनल बैंक काफ़ी लैग कर रहा था, एकदम से उसमें हमने एक रैली देखी और पिछले 3-4 ट्रेडिंग सेशंस में वी हैव सीन अ वेरी हैंडसम कैपिटल गेन। क्या आप समझते हैं कि जो फॉरेन इनफ्लोज हम मार्केट में वापस आता हुआ देख रहे हैं वो सिलेक्टेड स्टॉक्स में, उसमें कुछ बैंक के स्टॉक्स हैं और प्रॉब्ली 1 or 2 ऑयल स्टॉक्स, और स्पेशली अगर नेशनल बैंक की बात करें?
I think, I mean, foreign flows generally are selective, and they've come back into the sectors, banking, in the oil and gas sectors. Oil and gas, I think, this sector is particularly well poised, and I think we'll continue to see more inflows coming in. Banking sector के अंदर एक तो banks की obviously अपनी inherent strength है, फिर secondly now with the elections out of the way, the National Bank GDR issue should come back onto the agenda fairly quickly, so that I think will also be a factor that will continue to drive and has driven the price action to some extent. MCB has long been a favorite, and there was talk of maybe a strategic partner coming into the bank, so that has also been something that's driving the that particular stock. But I think with the oil prices now over and around the $100, obviously that creates certain macroeconomic issues for Pakistan as well, but in terms of the E&P sector and the refining as well as the OMC sector, I think we'll continue to see good earnings momentum and investor interest in that sector overall.
ओके, एमसीबी के हवाले से जो आपने मेंशन किया है कि ये इस किस्म की र्यूमर्स तो हमने पहले भी सुनी थी, तो क्या दिस टाइम अराउंड कोई और इसमें एडिशंस हमने सुने हैं कि कोई और, जो आपने फॉरेन पार्टनर की बात की, कोई लेटेस्ट र्यूमर्स या न्यूज़ हैं इस हवाले से?
Yeah, I think there is news and talk in the market. I'm not aware of anything more specific than that, and I'm sure if something specific does happen, the company and the group will immediately notify the stock exchange. But yes, I mean there is talk, and we obviously we have seen continued interest in the banking sector from overseas. Despite the fairly extreme volatility over the last few months, we've seen foreign investors coming into, for example, in Saudi Park, then Barclays coming in and setting up their own branch operations here. So the sector is still very much in play.
ओके, और ऑफ कोर्स एमसीबी के हवाले से आप कैसा रेट करते हैं इस बैंक को, और करंट लेवल्स जो हमको नजर आ रहे हैं, ये भी एक रिकॉर्ड लेवल्स पे एमसीबी बैंक ट्रेड कर रहा है, आर यू रिकमेंडिंग एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम कि इस प्राइस पे जो है एमसीबी बैंक को बाय करें?
देखिए, the bank itself obviously is very strong and has very good margins and earnings momentum as well. But I think on a purely fundamental valuation basis, I think it's somewhat pricey now. and we would look at other banks, for example, National Bank or some of the other banks like Bank of Punjab, purely from a investment perspective. But yes, if from a trading perspective, the momentum is still there in MCB.
ओके आपने मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक फंडामेंटल्स पे जो बात की थी, वी डू नो के चैलेंजेस उस साइड पे हैं, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट का इश्यूज हैं, ऑयल प्राइसेस का इम्पैक्ट है. कितनी जल्दी आप देख रहे हैं कि नई आने वाली गवर्नमेंट जो है स्पेशली ऑन द ऑयल प्राइस फ्रंट कोई डिसीजन लेगी?
देखिए, आई थिंक whichever government comes in, it will be, and there's something that we need to keep a lookout on. I think there will be a lot of pressure on the new government to take populist measures. At the same time, there are hard economic decisions, for example, the oil price that you said, that also need to be taken. I hope they are able to balance things out and take the hard decisions that are needed and which will be good in the long term rather than any short-term populist measures. But I think we should be prepared for that. This has been a landmark and a watershed elections, and I'm sure the governments will be under pressure to provide some relief to the consumers, quickly, while at the same time having to take tough decisions, that are needed for long-term economic discipline.
Okay, last question on the account deficit side. We know कि पिछले साल हमने privatization काफ़ी देखी थी, इस साल inflows इतने ज़्यादा नहीं हैं. Remittances fortunately जो हैं अभी भी हम देख रहे हैं कि वो काफ़ी strong हैं, और जो half year की figure आई थी, we did cross $3 billion. बट प्राइवेटाइजेशन और GDR के फ्रंट पे आप क्या देख रहे हैं कि बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस फिस्कल हम कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस देख सकते हैं क्या कंप्लीट होते हुए?
I think that is certainly the government's intention. The National Bank GDR process is already well underway, and that was obviously stopped when the elections were called, so they'll restart fairly quickly, I think. The government has also started the process for HBL, Habib Bank's GDR. And although it will be a tough timeline, but I think it is possible that also may happen before 30th June. So those will be two large issues that will provide significant inflows of foreign exchange. Plus, although strategic privatizations are somewhat at a stop, but in the private sector, and in terms of FDI into the private sector, that is still continuing at a fairly healthy pace.
Okay, thank you very much, Farrukh Khan, Chief Executive of BMA Capital Management, हमको उन्होंने